which is an electronic thermometer. Got a series of data, which is under this time and temp. And then I use the equation for a first order system response, decaying to a steady state response, to input this data with the time and temperature, and that gave us an output of this. The first graph is the raw data graph. You can see there's a bit of noise here, which may have been, we were using a lumped mass to approximate what's going on. So this could have either been someone's hand affecting it, or it slowly going into the water. So it took a minute for the entire mass to start to change temperature uniformly. Anyway, once we graphed this equation here over time, it gave us a roughly linear response. And this, I actually took a subset of the data so that I didn't catch any of the noise. So this is probably from about 1.8 seconds to somewhere close to here. I've done this experiment in another class, so I knew this would be a problem. And then the dotted line you see there is what Google Sheets says is a linear fit curve. And then I was having some trouble making it display. See right now, if I try to click on it, it actually clicks behind the graph. But I was able to pull the slope of that line as the time constant. So here is 0.36-ish of a second. And that also corresponds to whenever this graph goes to the difference between here, about 63%. In previous classes, I've taken this data and done like a moving average, and then subtracted a few milliseconds or whatever the time happens to be that I'm taking the average of to back it off again, and then done a straight line here based on the data before we moved anything, and then as close as I could get here, another straight line with that same slope to try to just basically remove this area, and that'll give you a start time that you can take for your time constant whenever you're trying to figure out what is 63%. So that was basically what this lab was asking for, and really this time constant was the jewel of all of this extra data that we pulled out. So that is how we collected data. Anybody got any questions?